record on this today. Our first agenda item, actually, we didn't receive any submitted questions today. I do have a couple resources that I wanted to share with you. Also wanted to talk a little bit about an email I got regarding these recorded sessions. And then I think this would be a great time, Ken, since you are relatively new and are starting in Pathways. At the end, we should have some extra time that you can just ask questions about Toastmasters in general or Pathways, whatever. We can help you out with that. So the first thing I wanted to mention, I received an email from someone, and I'm not sure what club she's with, and she has not been able to attend any of these sessions and was concerned that when she got onto look at the agendas and go to the YouTube channel, that there were several times we met that there was no webinar recording. So I just wanted to remind you that if it's, there have been a couple times it's just been me and Angela or me and one other person. If it's just two of us here, I haven't been recording it because that allows us the opportunity to kind of talk one-on-one and sort of more personally about the individual's club. So I didn't record that because we didn't, I didn't feel like that was something we should share. So I will try to make sure that, and there were a couple times that I forgot to record too. So I'm trying to, I have a big sticker on my thing that says hit record. So I'm trying to do better with that. And I did send that person all of the previous recording links, but just again, as a reminder, they are on the top of the agendas when I send out the notes portion, usually immediately after we meet. So you can go over to my YouTube channel and find past recordings if that's something you're interested in.
Great.
As I was putting together today's agenda, it occurred to me that there are tons, I can't even tell you how many, of past webinar recordings that World Headquarters does. And they put these on for the Pathways ambassadors and guides. But they're really specific to topics. And usually they're about 30 minutes. So what I wondered from you folks, rather than send out this pages and pages and pages of these recordings, are there any specific topics that you would like me to send the link to you, and you can see the recording that World Headquarters did? And you may not have an answer to that now.
I have an answer.
Yes.
And I appreciate that. I think I'm too new to really have a specific direction that I need help in right now, but I appreciate the opportunity that if something does come up and I can just connect with you and you can say, oh yeah, here you go here for this or that.
Yes, absolutely. And I totally understand that. I think even though you're new in Toastmasters, for those of us who have been in Toastmasters for a long, long time, this is new to us too. So I think you bring up a very good point that we might not know what questions we have at this time, but I just want to throw that out there that there are tons of recordings and I'm happy to send you those links if there are specific topics.
Thanks.
Additionally, I had previously sent out some handouts that you could print for your club. However, I also just want to throw out that if there are other things that you think might be helpful for your club, resources, let me know. I'm happy to work with Headquarters. And I haven't actually looked at the Toastmasters store recently to see if they've updated their materials. I'm guessing they probably have. And that's something I'll be looking into too now that I know about this open house. So if there are other resources that I can help with, please let me know. One thing we've done in the Outreach Club, we've started to include the new Pathways. There are a couple Pathways flyers that I sent out. We've included those in our new member packets just to, get people familiar and stuff like that. The other point that I wanted to offer, and I offered this at the last meeting, so Angela, this isn't new to you, and I'm not sure who joined. Right now it's just showing as public, so I'm not sure.
Hi, public.
I don't know who that is. If you want to put your club or your name in the chat box, that would be fantastic.
And I think their microphone's on mute as well, Shauna.
So hi, public. We're happy to have you. The other thing that I would like to offer, again, is I'm happy to come and visit other clubs. If, we're not required to do that as a guide, but if somebody wants me to come back to their club and just give another little overview of Pathways, or if you if there's specific things, if you think it'd be better if I come and just have an open conversation with your club members, I'm more than happy to do that as well. The other, I'm just sorry guys, I'm just throwing this all at you. So if you stop me at any time, I'm going to share the agenda. I don't know who all received this email, but we received it from District 13, and I'm not sure who sent it. They sent a few links about Pathways. So I put the links here, and I'll just pull up on my screen what those links go to so that you can see. So the District 13 website, and Ken, this might be really valuable for you too, just to get on there and explore and check things out. So this is the district that we're part of. They have a ton of information here under their document library. You can look at the newsletter. You can search here for resources. Tons of stuff on here. So they sent us a note that they've updated some things on here for Pathways. And they also wanted to remind us of, this was the piece that I put in our new member packet. So they also wanted to remind us that these things are available. I didn't print this whole thing. I just printed the first page. But this is a really good brochure, not brochure, I mean, it's 66 pages long, but this is a really good resource to dig into what each of these paths look like, you know, what kind of electives you're getting into, those sorts of things. So I would really encourage you to save this when I send out the notes after this. Print it if you want to print 66 pages. It might be good for your club just to have a copy of this in your podium or just as a resource available, just so people have it and you can easily answer questions. And if you notice, these are all hyperlinks, so it will lead you to somewhere else too if you look at the virtual space.
Yeah, I did screen capture that too, Shauna, so that'll help. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, and I will definitely send you I'll send all this out after we meet, so you'll have those links as well. Ken, are you on the email list, or did you get invited from Angela, like from an email from her?
I think it came, Angela, I think it came from you, right?
Yes, I think I forwarded it to the club members, our members listserv, to encourage anybody who was interested in to join.
Okay, so do you want, Angela, do you want to forward the notes after the meeting, or do you want me to specifically just make sure that Ken gets the notes? We can do that however you want. I just want to make sure he has the links to those resources.
Right. Well, it doesn't matter to me, whatever you'd prefer.
Okay. I'll just forward to you. I'll send it to you like I normally would, and then you can forward on if that's okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to stop there for a minute. Do either of you have any questions? Those were the only sort of welcome and update things that I wanted to mention. Do any of you have any questions? Or do you have any updates, club updates?
Well, I can just give a quick update. So I did my first Pathways project at our last meeting, and yay! So, and I also, it's been you know, it's easier for me now it'll become easier for me to kind of coach our members through Pathways as I'm getting more experience myself in using the materials. And the other thing we're doing in our club is we're doing a little Pathways minute. So sort of just a little educational reminder during our business meeting, you know, on a topic related to Pathways.
Awesome.
And so I did the Pathways minute at our last meeting, just kind of promoting the materials that are available with each project and how you can print a PDF of the materials, kind of like we used to have a booklet, but there's way more useful stuff in there now. And I showed how I printed off my project and how there's an outline to help you organize your thoughts, and how there's a worksheet to help you organize your speech. And I just kind of showed it as a really great resource for people, so that they know that there's more help now actually with Pathways.
That's fantastic. And we also have been doing the same thing. We always start our meetings with an educational portion. Usually it's, you know, a few minutes allotted on the agenda, and we typically talk about, you know, upcoming events, speech contests, whatever. But lately the main focus of that has been Pathways, and just encouraging people to get started, or if they have started, you know, trying to answer questions and stuff. So I'm glad that your club has incorporated that as well. That's a great idea.
And I guess the only other thing is, you know, having to reminding people to, once they do their speech presentation, they have to go back into their project and do the assessment, the post assessment, in order to complete the project. And so I know a couple people hadn't done that, and I'm like, look, you got to do it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they'll realize that they missed the step when they can't move forward.
Yeah.
But I think that's definitely something that's going to be hard for all of us, I think, just to remember, okay, there are additional steps that I need to do when I log in. Angela, do you have anyone that started in Pathways that has decided to do the printed materials?
No.
Awesome. I haven't heard of anybody opting for that. So that's interesting to me, because I was a little concerned that some people, sometimes I like to have a book or something, so I was concerned that we might have a lot of the people who choosing that, but I'm really excited that people are sort of going the more modern way.
Well, you know, if having gone in there and printed off a PDF of my first project, it doesn't seem like you need to order the printed materials. You can print a PDF off, or part of it. You can download a PDF, and you don't have to print the whole thing. You can just print part of it if you want to. I printed the whole thing to kind of have an example.
Sure.
So you can have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it really does make sense to do the Basecamp. You get so much more, and you are absolutely correct. Everything that you would get in the printed version is there, and you have the option to print it if you want, or just, you know, save it on your device, whatever. So to me, it really makes a lot of sense to just do the Basecamp online method, but it's not
so
for
far
everyone.
no printers, but we'll see, you know, what happens.
Yeah. Awesome. The only other thing that I wanted to mention is the tutorials, and Ken, I'm going to specifically point out to you again, just because I know I've shown Angela this, but I just wanted to mention that we do have these really valuable resources available when you log into Basecamp. This is what your screen will look like. Tutorials and resources. Remember, just because it's they're trying to make it friendly for all devices, you can't click on this. You have to wait till the drop down comes and then click there. But there are tons of resources here. You can see mine popping up here for you. So if you are working through your path, you come across a question, you can't get a hold of me, or you don't want to get a hold of me, whatever, come here and you can search by things that are online, or you can search by materials that you can print. There's some FAQs here, a copy of the Navigator, all kinds of stuff. So I just wanted to remind you, this is a really great place to start when you do have questions. You can scroll down through here. There's tons and tons of things. But as always, I am more than happy to help if you come across, you know, a question or a problem, something as you work through your pathways. I'm happy to help. So if you don't want to start there, you can start with me. That's okay too.
Thanks.
Sure. Anything else for today? All right.
I'm just looking at the site right now, because I don't think I had really explored the tutorials and resources. So
yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
And Angela has been, I think, on every one of these meetings. She's really taking the time to become knowledgeable on Pathways. So I would encourage you to work with her since you're in her club, but also, again, just work with me if you have questions. And we're all learning this together, so don't be afraid to ask questions, or if you can't figure something out, that's not a problem. We are both happy to help.
Thanks to both.
Yeah,
Sure.
the more of us who know what's going on, the better.
Yeah, and really, even though we're continuing with the traditional mentoring program as the clubs have established, eventually at some point we do need people to finish their level and then start working into the mentoring program. So we need people to kind of be go-getters working through this so that we can get some mentors trained up too. So we're really excited for everyone who's jumped on board so far, and I think it's a great new program, so hopefully others do as well. All right, if there's nothing else, we do meet again next Tuesday, the 16th. We'll meet at 2 o'clock. If you have questions, as always, send them to me ahead of time, and I will make sure I have an answer. And that's it. We will see you all then.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks
Bye,
for coming.
Ken.
See you.
Bye.
Have a great day.